Ten out of 10, 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, best game, best game.
Yakuza is a PlayStation 2 era series that has grown exponentially over the last decade. After being stuck on the PlayStation for nearly 3 whole generations, the series went multi-platform in 2018 with the release of Yakuza 0 on PC, which was such a phenomenal hit it shocked even Sega and the developers. Goes to show how many people wanted to play Yakuza outside the PlayStation. After that, they released Yakuza Kiwami, a remake of Yakuza 1 from the PS2, and Yakuza Kiwami 2, a remake of Yakuza 2, also from the PS2. Yakuza 0 is the first PC port of the series, and it didn't have that many issues. In fact, everything was here. They didn't remove any content, such as gambling. I played the game with no game-breaking bugs from start to finish. This was a good sign of things to come, given that PC ports were and still are notorious for not being good. When it comes to the game, you have the story, which we should explore first, even though that's a bit of a sin to Yakuza fans. Much like Bethesda, you're supposed to get lost in the side content first, then finish the main story later. Well, let's get the plot out of the way first. The story starts out uninteresting, with you beating up a man in an alley. You get framed for his murder. Then you explore the corruption of the Yakuza business and help a man get the plot and protect a blind woman who is a key figure in the plot. The plot of land in question is needed for an infrastructure project that would later become the Millennium Tower. The showdown staple of the series, literally pretty much every final battle since Yakuza 1 ends here. The plot isn't anything to write home about, but it did make me care for characters, which is rare given my cynical narcissistic view. I did feel bad at times when characters died, were betrayed, or sacrificed themselves to protect others, with an ending that was bittersweet and a lesson for newcomers expecting anything else from a Yakuza ending come future games. The main story isn't that bad, and does a good job of introducing the player to mechanics and key characters. I preferred Kiryu's part of the story most, but Majima getting love for the first time was great, and it sucks they shafted him to a side clown character in later games. Majima deserves a whole game to himself, damn it. Now that the plot is out of the way, we need to talk about the combat. The meaty, fast-paced, variety jam-packed combat. You start out with one style and learn more as you progress. You have Brawler at first, which is your general all-around style. Then you unlock Rush, a more fast-paced, light hit approach, and then a Beast style, which is what it sounds like. You literally thrash people and objects around like the Incredible Hulk if he was a Japanese man wearing a tacky suit. Each one playing differently and offering variety to the player, and some being more useful than others in certain situations. You'll be wanting to switch things up and invest money into different skill tree perks to get the most out of each. Then there's a secret style, which I'll leave you to figure out. Next up, let's talk the skill tree and money. The game uses money as experience points and currency. Given this was the economic bubble of the 1980s, you can expect everything to be expensive and everyone to have wads of cash, and also people scrambling for anything they can get. You can use this as a diversion against threats, but more importantly, for unlocking new abilities and increasing your overall stats like more damage, health, heat gauge. Money is everywhere and anywhere. You won't struggle with it if you play the game and spend wisely. In fact, I had no trouble with money during my playthrough, but once you get to the later parts of the skill tree, it becomes a grind and less enjoyable. So be warned, endgame skills ain't no joke. I'd rather waste my money at the Sega arcade, especially the claw machine, which has a sub-story tied to it with Majima. Go figure. Everything has a sub-story basically. I bet that traffic cone in Yakuza Kiwami has a sub-story. Now we need to get into the side content like sub-stories. While exploring the world, you'll come across sub-stories, which are actually interesting, like helping a kid get a highly anticipated game, beating up everyone and then realizing the last guy was the father of the kid who just wanted to get it for him. Also a guy selling mushrooms in an alley, which makes him look shady and give people the wrong idea of the mushrooms, because they ain't shrooms as in the drug, but the actual food, which leads to many shenanigans. Outside those, you also have a side gig as a real estate Mongol. Yeah, you get to go around and buy businesses and fight rival realtors to conquer all of Kamurocho, during which you'll unlock a chicken as a potential employee if you bowl well enough, and challenge rivals in a variety of activities to claim their portion of the city. Yeah, this game gets very weird. Next up, we'll tackle side activities such as minigames, a staple of the series. Yakuza 0 ain't afraid of minigames. Unlike later entries, this one has so much variety, it's insane. I was barely able to play most of them before I realized I sunk in over 20 hours in only a few already. Let's just say you have fishing, which is my favorite activity, having grown up with Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing, and also being basically raised in the lake. You also have a second favorite of mine, that being bowling, which was removed in later games. It's simple and fun as you would expect. It's nothing fancy, but if you want to bowl, you can bowl. Then you got shogi and mahjong, which I don't understand and have no interest in. You have blackjack, darts, pool, disco too. Yes, disco. Let's just say you're going to be Friday nighting the night away. It ain't my cup of tea, but it's not that bad, and it's there as an option. Finally, we have Pocket Circuit, which carried into Yakuza Kiwami, and then had a sub-story in Yakuza 6. Here, you modify your car and race, win and move on to more challenging races, buy new parts, and try different combinations to see what works and what doesn't. Along the way, there's sub-stories involved on top of the minigame. I didn't care much for it, but the fact they put so much effort into a tiny diversion shows the dedication by the developer to include as much detail and gameplay as possible. Then there's the Cabaret Club. It sucks. Last but not least, overall. This game is very good, and I cannot stress this enough. It's the perfect entry to start with, and also the best in the series so far. Leave it to release the best first to give a great first impression for PC gamers. I wholeheartedly recommend the game with an easy thumbs up on the recommendation, and I give the game an easy 4 stars for great out of 5. Yakuza 0 is truly a game worth playing on any platform you could get it on, and it is the perfect start to the series for newcomers. Anyways, that's it. See ya.